I tell them there's a difference between being bothered by a thought and being troubled by a thought. The thoughts they're having are troubled thoughts. For example, if somebody is afraid of being alone, they're not just afraid of being alone. The fear of aloneness is troubled. If somebody is afraid of worrying, they're not just afraid of worrying. They're worrying about worrying about worrying about worrying until the worrying becomes troubled. It's troubled worry. So the goal here is not to stop being bothered. It's to find a way to not be so troubled. And in fact, they're not just troubled. They know they're troubled. And they're troubled about being troubled. They'll say, why do things like that bother me so much or trouble me so much? Why am I so unhappy about being so depressed? I know it's normal. What's the matter with me? I should stop feeling bad about being depressed. I should stop being anxious about being anxious, and so on and so forth. And I also make the distinction between suffering and torment. Suffering, and this comes as a surprise to my clients, is commonplace. It's everywhere. We all suffer. Humans are sort of suffering people. We suffer every day, Life is filled with discomfort, with annoyances, with tragedy. Tragedy is commonplace. But people with emotional problems are not suffering. In fact, they're tormented. This is the difference. And they're probably tormented because they're not willing to suffer. They're not willing to be uncomfortable. They're not willing to have an uncomfortable thought or feeling. So because they see themselves as so abnormal, they want to be perfect. And they'll see something like anxiety, for example, as an imperfection. And then they focus on anxiety, not on the fact that they have a problem. So they see themselves as abnormal with kind of a minor problem.
And when you said focus on a problem, you mean the actual thing in their life that is not going well.
Yes.
And so instead of feeling the feelings and using them as an indication that, there's something in my life that I need to tend to, they take the eliminative approach towards the feeling itself.
That's right.
Because that seems like a more possible thing to do.
That's right.
In people's minds.
That's right.
If I could only feel better, then I wouldn't have to deal with this seemingly insurmountable problem.
Yes. In fact, the self-talk becomes so excessive, this perfectionistic self-blaming talk becomes so excessive that they put things on hold. Life is on hold. So they're putting a lot of effort into something that doesn't require effort. They're on a wild goose chase with that. And they sort of get burned out and they stagnate. The worst part of this is this putting life on hold. And in extreme cases where they stagnate, they're really not living. And so there's an imbalance here. They're putting too much effort and at the same time too little effort in life, because they see the opposite of putting too much effort as no effort at all, and the opposite of no effort at all as being too much effort. There's no balance. I think of that as disequilibrium. They live a very unbalanced life. And so what's needed is what I think of as a redistribution of effort. Try to minimize all this effort that you're putting into controlling and eliminating things that cannot be eliminated. And put your effort where it counts in improving the quality of your life, to getting back into life again. But do it in a reasonable way, step by step.